All right, I'm going to make a very powerful video right now that is going to change your life if you listen to it and heed it, okay? It's going to be called Reclaiming Back Your Rainbow Body, okay? Your seven chakra aligned rainbow body, okay? Um, so let's get into it. We come into this world with a perfect body, perfect energy system, perfect spirit, perfect soul. Everything is aligned for us to enjoy life here on this planet. Um, what happens is we are brainwashed by social conditioning to think you can't do this, you can't do that, don't do this, don't do that. You have to go for this kind of girl. This is the kind of girl that you have to have sex with. This is the most desirable girl. Da 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 da. And then you go throughout life, right? Um, chasing things that aren't meant for you. You were born like with a certain body, a certain dick, a certain size dick, a certain size body. Like I was born skinny, so I can get jacked and shredded muscle, but I have to work on it. I have to feed it calories. I was born short and skinny, um, but I have a big dick, so a lot of thick girls that society wouldn't say, oh, that's the hottest girl in the world, they find me attractive because the skinny little, perfect little model chicks, they want 6'4". They don't care if I have a big dick. I don't, I don't qualify in height, right? And even if my energy is good or anything, these girls will think they can always do better than me. And then I get into relationships with these girls and they always act like, yeah, like your dick's good and the sex is good, but like you still lack here or you lack here. Like they'll try to point out my things that I lack, and it causes stress, which is not what I deserve. What I deserve is healing, pleasure, a great experience. So because my dick is bigger, I can fit my dick inside of a girl's pussy who has a big ass. Most guys can't even get their dick in it, and so that's why the bigger chicks are like, it's the best sex they ever had with me, right? And I'm good at squirting them and shit like that. And that would be not something that somebody wants to brag about, like, oh, this thick chick over here, I fucked her and this and that. Like most people be like, you fuck fat girls, right? If she's not skin and bones in society's eyes, she's fat, right? But dude, that's what's into me. Now, granted, granted, um 18, 19-year-old girls are becoming more into me as I gain more muscle mass. They definitely are skinny 19-year-old girls, right? Um, and so there is ways that you can like, change it. But what you got to understand is that 18-year-old skinny 19-year-old girl, she's seen as top priority, top value, most hot girl in society. And so because she has a lot of options, there's going to be stress because um, she's going to try out some of those options, and it's going to make me, it's going to make my subconscious mind like question my own value or stress a little bit, and I'm gonna worry, is she getting STDs with all these fucking options that she has, and then she comes back to me and now she has this energy on her, and it's messy, right? And in my mind, just because a girl's skinny, do I want to have sex with her? Is that the best sex I could have just because a girl's skinny? No, it's validation, trophy. Look, I got the skinny girl, right? The best sex I ever had, the best orgasms I ever had, were with more thick girls. Period. The skinny girls, you could just say you like to be seen in public with it. But if you're living for social conditioning or social validation, you are out of alignment with your rainbow body. Therefore, out of alignment with integration. Now, let's talk about integration. Integration isn't good or bad, it's both. Okay? Whatever a girl says about you is true. Yeah? No matter what perception they look at you as, it's true. It's all true. We're all good and evil. And what you gotta understand, in NLP they talk about, okay, you see a feeling, pull it out of you, visualize it, it's a certain color, spinning left or right. Now, if it's red and to the right and it's bad, flip it to the left and turn it green. No, there is no good or bad. Bring it together, right? Right? bring together the blue and the red, make purple. Purple is your pineal, is your crown chakra. Blue is your throat chakra. What you got to understand is all of these colors blend into the rainbow. You got red down here, you got orange, you got yellow, you got green, you got blue, you see what I mean? You got indigo, you got blended all together. And it spins like a toroidal. One spins left, one spins right. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not one or the other. It's integration, okay? So you need to be aware of yourself. I have the best sex with thick girls, okay? I'm adding muscle mass to my frame, not to become more attractive to the girls that aren't good for me. Because even if you get them, it will still be the opposite of the roller coaster of pleasure. When you have your rainbow body aligned, you get to go on the roller coaster of pleasure. There's a roller coaster that was built for you when you came into this reality that you get to ride on and enjoy. And it will be heaven on earth. It's not the one of social conditioning. Pleasure doesn't come with other people's approval. Pleasure is what heals you. Social conditioning is what traps you and keeps you in pain. On my way back from the beach, I found this lobster claw. Okay? I found this lobster claw. It symbolizes protection. It symbolizes I can grab what I want now. It still works. All the joints still work on it. And, it symbolizes a lot of things. I'll mention some other things that it also symbolizes. So, um, one of the things that this lobster claw that I found symbolizes, and by the way, I was just getting out of the ocean and leaving. So it wasn't like, oh, I found it in the middle of my, no, it was like right when I'm leaving. Like, here's, like, congratulations for all your realizations today. Here is, proof. So lobsters shed their shell. So renewal. Lobsters grow by molting, leaving behind old exoskeletons to expand. I'm literally doing this with my old trauma and social conditioning. I'm literally doing this with, thinking that I need to, listen, I don't deal with people anymore who don't fuck with me, right? If I can tell that you don't fuck with me a little bit, right? Like, I'm a Cancer. I'm emotional. I like depth and I like loyalty because I am loyal and I go deep. So if somebody thinks, oh, Daniel's emotional, yes, you're right. 100% you're right. But if you think that's weak or that's undesirable and you don't like me because of it, we're not for each other, right? But some people see, oh, Daniel's emotional. He feels deeply. That's powerful. I can go deep with him. We can get real shit done. Then we're for each other, right? You're so emotional, Daniel. Yes, I am. When did I ever say I wasn't? How could I be more masculine and more in my masculine frame and still be emotional than somebody who thinks it's not masculine to be emotional? Think on that for a second, right? It's like, what does masculinity do? It pushes things forwards, it gets things done. Masculinity, does this, does that. So, um, I get results in my life. I make things happen with masculine energy, and I maneuver with my emotions and my intuition to, to basically see what is right for me, right? And so that's one of my superpowers. It's also one of my shadows if I don't master it. But I spend every day, meditating and mastering that. So, how do you get back this rainbow body? What's a technique for integration? One of the techniques for integration is shadow work. So you sit in the dark with running water. I use running water because I'm a Cancer. Once again, our superpower is found in water. I go to the beach every day. I go swimming every day. That's one of my superpowers. Um, when you sit there, you want to feel the old things that made you feel bad, and then point to where you feel it. Your finger, point to where you feel it in your body, and sit with the feeling and trigger yourself. Remember when that girl called you a fraud? How does that make you feel? Say it to bring the negative emotion up. Then you feel the negative emotion until it dissipates and integrates. Then you reimagine the same experience that gave you that negative experience, and you revisit it, and you with your new awareness, and you visualize what you would have done, right? So in eighth grade or seventh grade, there was this girl who was attracted to me, and I was attracted to her, and we would text every night and stuff. But I didn't want a relationship to start with her because my parents and the religion that I was under at the time told me that I couldn't date a girl that wasn't a Christian, right? And so I had this fear of like, if I make a move on her, my parents won't approve, whatever. So I held back from making a move on her in person. That's the way that I rationalize it. Maybe I was just scared of girls. I don't know. And we were at the school dance, and then she came over to me, and I was confused because we hadn't talked in a while, right? Because she got fed up the fact that I didn't want to make anything happen in real life, only over AIM back then, AOL. AIM, we used to instant message, and she came up to me and she goes, "Daniel, come dance," right? And I started dancing with her, started feeling the vibe, and then she just laughed at me and goes, "Never mind." And then she like turns her back on me. That stunted my masculine growth a lot back then when I was younger. And it made me feel like dancing was humiliation, not masculine. And that experience stuck with me for a long fucking time, right? And so what I do is I sit with that emotion that it made me feel, little Daniel felt, and I put my hand on my shoulder. As grown up Daniel, I put my hand on little Daniel's shoulder and I say, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's all good, man. You know, um, she was immature, and so were you. And then I reimagine the scenario where like she like laughs at me, and then I chuckle back with her, and then I put my hand out to a girl, across in a very confident way. She grabs my hand, I spin her, put her arm around me, dip her, bring her back up, and we start making out on the dance floor or something. So this girl sees that I was unfazed by her little rejection, and I just go straight into, um, seduction with another girl. That's the most confident replay and reframe of that scenario, and it brings back autonomy and power to myself. Um, so what you gotta understand is a lot of us that had strict parents. We got hesitation put into us, and that is our masculinity stripped. We were emasculated, and the most confident, popular kids growing up, they had parents that were very supportive parents, or let them smoke and drink, and like, bad parents. But bad is actually good in this context because bad is like, you can't get hurt, you can't do wrong, your shit don't stink. I remember I had this friend who was very really confident, and when I say your shit don't stink, I literally mean he walked out into the backyard one time, his dad's standing right there in the grass like on the phone, and his dog's right there taking a shit. He walks right next to the dog, takes a shit like the dog, like a fucking animal, like no inhibition, no shame, no resistance. In my head, I'm like, what if the shit comes out like messy? Like, right? That would be my first thought. Like, no, he just took a perfect shit, perfect squat. It came out clean. He didn't even need to wipe. He just pulled up his pants. And he was done. Because when you're so natural and you do have the perfect posture of shitting, the poop comes out perfect. You're not going to have to wipe, most likely. And he didn't have to wipe. And see, that's like a feminine way of thinking of like, oh, are people going to worry if I didn't clean my ass? A masculine dude that like runs a fucking tribe and shit. He'll take a shit on a girl. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care if you think he stinks or he smells. He's masculine. You have to accept it because he'll beat your ass if you don't. Right? That's the masculine energy. Just shit wherever you want. Shit, fart. Right? And so that kid, he ended up the same girl who shamed me on the dance floor. He ended up fucking her with his friend. They took her virginity, threesome, ran a train on her that year. Let that sink in, right? Let that sink in. By the way, this also represents a subconscious gift because I found it in the sand, in the the infinite sand, right? It's like the subconscious, the infinite. You pull it out of there, just waiting for me to have my rainbow realization, almost like my psyche left a marker. Yes, you reclaimed your body. Here's proof. Pulled it out of the subconscious. Pulled it out of the subconscious. These grasp, they latch onto things you want, not letting it slip away, grabbing opportunities, protection, nourishment, pulling nourishment towards myself. What does a lobster claw do? It helps them eat their food. It's like their fork. Fucking grabs fish, eats that fucking shit. So, anyways, I hope I gave practical advice in this video for some of you to get results. We all have traumas. Go revisit them, heal them, reframe them, okay? Then when you walk around integrated and approach the girls that you're supposed to approach. The ones that give you indicators of interest, those are the ones you're supposed to approach. Uh, make business partnerships with the people you're supposed to partner with, etc. Right? Knowing, because now you know yourself, and it's not like you're trying to fit in. Now you know yourself, and now you can partner with the right people, continue growing, etc. One of the best things that you can do in life is be independent, but not hyper independent. Independent means if people abandon you, you're fine regardless. You have your own mission, you have your own play, right? You have your own ways to get money. But that doesn't mean that like a Leo in his shadow or a Sag or an Aries, like these fire signs in their shadow, they think I'm the best. I can do this alone. I don't need anybody. That's their shadow, right? Um, Cancer in my shadow is becoming dependent on people, right? Um, that's my shadow. So the balance of fire and water is the middle, where it's you're independent, but you realize it takes it takes a whole army to build a fucking kingdom, bro. It takes a whole village, right? But you don't need to put up with people that still are working through their traumas. You don't need to have sex with some girl that's hurt. You don't have to have sex with the wounded feminine, and you don't have to partner with somebody who thinks he's better than you. Partner with people that see your value for what you are, and have sex with people who want to heal you. That is the rainbow body. That is making sure your seven chakras are aligned and all the colors are vibrating and there's no blockages in any one of them. And that's when life starts to flow smoothly. Okay? And you don't have to worry anymore. And whenever that feeling comes up, point to it. You might feel some sort of trauma coming up during the day. Point to it, bring it out, feel it more. It will dissipate, it will integrate into your toroidal field of your rainbow body.